red church connect to the present-day Central United Methodist Church? How would the past history of the merger of Clark Chapel and Lodge Street to Central Avenue Methodist Episcopal Church and the present history of our church connect to the future day Central United Methodist Church? Out from the gloomy past of Central's humble beginnings of the first 50 years of existence, from 1866 to 1916, the continuity of our church history became a defining hope of light through the generations of offspring. With a steady beat for the next 50 years, from 1916 to 1966, we sang a song full of the faith that the dark past taught us, instead of a disconnect from the deliberate infusion of the Great Depression and the Civil Rights Movement. The transitional challenges of the lifeline of the church. The generations of offsprings turned up revival. Till now we stand at last, witnessing the current 50 years of 1966 through 2016 to this third Sunday in the Black History Month of February the 19th, 2017 at about 10:50? I mean, what is that? 10:40. At 10:40 a.m. Generations after generations after generations continue to connect the historical experiences of leaders throughout the congregational membership of the Central United Methodist Church. Please take a second to look closely at the young faces standing before you of the future life of our church. As a matter of fact, give them a hand. As elders and stewards of the history of Central to continue to be told, we must continue to share what we have learned about our church, so that the mouths of our children can continue the continuity of our history, so there will not be any missing pages from the book of Central United Methodist Church history. Let's listen to the mouths of our generation.
Congressman Andrew Young, who later became Mayor of Atlanta and Ambassador to the United Nations. She was also an activist in the Civil Rights Movement and worked for the Martin Luther King Jr. Center for Nonviolent Social Change and Community Outreach. Mrs. Braithwaite was also an advocate for senior citizens and worked with the Fulton County Council on Aging for many years. In 2016, the City of Atlanta named a public park in her memory for her long life service to others. The final fact I would like to share with you is that she was also my great-grandmother. Please join me in saluting in the voice of influence, Mrs. Ella Mae Wade Braithwaite.
active member of United Methodist Men, member of the Finance Committee, church treasurer for nearly 40 years, spearheaded many field trips for his church seniors throughout the community. And my mom wanted me to add it. He was the official underarm pincher of all the kids he knew. Every time he saw you, he greeted you with a friendly pinch. Today, as we celebrate Black History Month, we recognize Mr. A.C. Robinson as one of the great voices of Central. Central United Methodist Church, where he served faithfully as a member of the Board of Trustees and as chairman of the Finance Committee. He was given long and distinguished leadership. Among his greatest contributions to the community include a respected military service veteran. He was a trailblazer as the first African-American tailor and one of Atlanta's largest department stores. President of the Downtown Merchants Association, was an active member of the 100% Lawn Club, a lifetime member of the Masons, founding member of the GG's Social Club, and an avid member of Rabbit Hole. He was an entrepreneur along with a partner, creating Harris and Faber, builders of fine homes. This played an important role in removing barricades that began the integration of blacks within the Peyton Forest community. All of these achievements I have mentioned makes me proud to tell you that he is my great-grandfather. He inspired me to be a builder just like him.
Good morning, Central. Mrs. Annette Hampton was a lifelong member of Central United Methodist Church. Let me tell you just a little bit about her. After the death of her mother, her three brothers were reared by their father, Mr. Frank P. West. And yes, the loving support of our Central family. Mrs. Hampton grew to be active in her church, community, and graduated from Clark College in 1941. She went on to earn a master's from Atlanta University in 1969. Mrs. Hampton put her academic time to work for our church, faithfully serving as a church historian and meticulously documented the history and major accomplishments of many members during her decades of service. Today, as we celebrate Black History Month, we recognize Mrs. Annette Hampton as not only one of our great voices of Central, but personally, she was my third great aunt. She impacted my life in so many ways as a Christian and as a beautiful aunt. Thank you.